So I was just talking to a friend of mine who's a kindergarten teacher, and we were laughing because she was explaining to me how things that seem small, simple, and easy to us can be these incredibly difficult tasks for these little guys. And I'm not sure how old you are when you're in kindergarten, but I'm assuming it's like 3, 4, 5 years old kind of thing. And what she was saying was, when they come in from recess during the winter months, and they have to take off their mittens and their toques and their little jackets, this thing that you think wouldn't be too difficult is this like huge ordeal to them, and it's kind of something that she has to go through daily. And if you're anything like me, you can kind of remember what it was like being in elementary school and having that small little closet space where you'd hang your stuff up at. And I was actually recently at an elementary school just a couple years ago, and I remember thinking how funny it was, kind of being in this miniature world where I'd hang my jacket up like way down here, and then I was in the washroom and I'd take a piss, and the urinal was at like my knees, and I had to like bend down real far. And I remember what it was like during recess, and the one word that comes to mind is chaos, like complete and utter chaos. You'd have like one kid in the corner screaming and yelling and crying because he can't take his boots off. You'd have another kid who's just getting in like an extremely aggressive verbal argument with the teacher because he's just straight up not taking his jacket off. He's just like, nope. You'd have like another kid that's just in his jacket with his hood like hanging from that little hanger, like swinging back and forth. And you essentially just have like this gang of infants who are just throwing temper tantrums all over the place in this small little area. And I think it's a hilarious example of the transitions that we go through in life and how we react. Because it starts off when you're a little kid and you're taking your toque and your mittens off, but then you fast forward 20 years and it's working the same job for 5 years of your life and then being let go and not really knowing where your career's going to end up, or it's, getting married and thinking you're going to spend the rest of your life with this person, and then you end up getting divorced somewhere down the road. And these are all transitions that we go through. Some are perceived as bigger than others, but I would argue that what's important is your perspective at the time, but also your maturity level. Because when you're 4 years old and you're sitting in that corner crying, trying to get your boots off, that's like the apocalypse. Like, that's like the world is ending because you can't get this piece of rubber off your foot. And then vice versa, maybe, 20 years later and you're a little mature, you can kind of see that divorce or that career change as perhaps an opportunity to pursue things that you didn't have time for before. So now maybe you have time to start that small business you're always interested in, to spend more time with your family, to travel the world, whatever your thing is. And I mean, you can have like a mature 5-year-old who's like, can't believe Timmy can't take his boots off. And then you can also have, and I would argue that you have a lot of this in today's society, these 40-year-old men who throw a little temper tantrum every time they're in traffic and someone cuts them off, or they're at work and someone doesn't like agree with what they're saying. And I feel like it's just a hilarious observation, so that's why I thought I'd share it with you guys, because I think most of us, we end up conquering taking our jacket off. But you can see so many people that resist going through change and avoid it at all cost. And just don't be like Timmy and just take your boots off.